Hello, hello, everyone. Ah, wow! I just finished watching a whole lot of gardening videos. My goodness, some of these people are really showing off their skills this year. I've seen uh, huge pumpkins. I've seen tomatoes that were kind of like this. They don't about that big, about 6, 7 pounds. It looks like. Um, and one gentleman had a pepper on a scale, and it looked like it was 6 pounds. I think it was a bell pepper. Now, and I went through these videos. I kept going through the videos, and I looked and looked and looked, and I said, okay, this is going to be a ton of information here that I can bring on to the Morning Gardener show live and share it. But what do you think I saw? Let's see. Lots of pictures, people standing next to fruit, excuse me, vegetables that they couldn't pick up if they wanted to. I've seen people standing next to, excuse me, holding fruit that was as big as a person's head, and and I repeat, no information really on how they did it. Excuse me. And I understand everyone's got to make money to live better or just to survive. My show is solely focused on people basically surviving. I mean, if they need to grow something to actually eat, when the spring comes in, summer and fall, and they have food, fresh food that didn't travel thousands of miles to get to the dinner table. It only traveled maybe 50 feet, 10 feet, 5 feet, and it's right in your kitchen and you cook it. I know what that's like. I've experienced it time and time again. It is some of the freshest food you ever want to eat, and it definitely carries a nutritional value to it. The thing about it was, I looked at um, the the videos, and it just showed all these beautiful pieces of fruit. Some of them as big as a child. No information on how they did it. No information on what they did to prep the soil. No information on what kind of water they use, if they used rain or from a stream, or did they use it from their own city pipes or whatever. It was no information. It was none. It was like the guy was just standing there. I'm just using cell phone example. Like, that was it. That was completely it. And so I'm glad that he or she is proud of what they've done. I'm happy about that. Some people have gotten a hold of the knowledge it takes to do that, because it's not a situation where you can't do it yourself. Some people dedicate a ton of hours to what they do. They invest in their skills. They learn about, or they might just be on soil that grows that well. Um, but to not share the information uh, is kind of sad, because you can have more videos up with people growing like that, and less children going to bed hungry and that sort of thing. So it's just a better deal to share the information, in my opinion. Just my opinion, of course. Just my opinion, and we all have one. Um, so I think that I'm going to continue to put videos up and show what I know, because I think the things I know from 18 years of gardening, I have learned quite a bit about starting plants, soil, about pH balance, and you name it. Just go on and on. I've learned a ton of things. Now, right now, my yard is filled with fruit trees, fruit bushes, and the yard is packed right now. I mean, we've had a lot of rain. In fact, it's raining today, and the day temperature, because it's cold today. It's actually cold today. I refuse to turn the furnace on, because I don't think it's that cold, but it's enough to make you want to wear a sweater. Let's see. Temperature today is 60 degrees Fahrenheit here in Maryland, and it shows rain, which has been raining all morning. and into the afternoon. Um, so that's what's going on here. Now that triggers the gardeners here to know it is time to put your fall items in the ground. It's simple as that. You can't wait any longer. You're going to have to find time from your work. You get a day off or something like that. You're going to have to put them in the ground, get a head start. And then when you get that stuff up and growing, once it takes on to the soil and you get that going, you're going to be a happy person. You know, my seed started, I want to say 2.5, 3 weeks ago. I have some that I started indoors and some that I will start what they call in ground. Yeah, I will do them in ground, and that's what I do. Um, Always, if you're in a climate that it does not afford you to grow all year long, like somewhere like Florida or something, then you want to start them early, you know, and don't do what I did this year. I tried something really crazy. I said I could handle it. I started my seeds the third month in, and they grew and they grew and they grew, and I had no way of controlling these plants. They were everywhere. I mean, the area I grew in, I had to keep them in a sunny location. First they went from the lights, and then it just got too big, and then they just kept going, and then it was like 15 inches tall and all that, and then it was 6 and 8 inches wide. And you imagine when you started out, you started on little trays, and now they all over the place. So I grew them, had fun doing it, um, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. Um, I just enjoyed it, you know. And then I started putting things in the ground that was crazy, like watermelon and cantaloupe. I started planting them early, and they're so fragile, the plants, that you moving them around, you could break them and things like that. So I didn't have any break, but I knew that was a possibility based on how fragile they felt. It's just a plant, and you can tell it's just full of water, and it's not real sturdy. And now something else I want to say real quick. People say do not grow watermelon, cantaloupe in containers and then try to move them. I've been hearing that for years, folks. You can, you can move them. You can move them. You can take a watermelon plant, start it indoors, and you can move it outside. But what the trick is about it is you have to. I would say you have to grow 3 or 4 of the plants, because if one dies or you break one, of course you want to have backup. That's what any of your plants always grow more than what you actually need. If you're going to grow 8 tomato plants, do 12 or 15 tomato plants. If something happened to 3 of them, you're still in the ballpark. You're still in the game. But you don't want to go out there and say, I need 3 tomato plants this year, and you just grow 3. There's a person here I'm looking at. They keep bouncing around from station to channel to channel. It's kind of distracting, but they'll go in and they come out. They go in and they come out. But the thing about it is, um, grow more than what you need. Grow more than what you need, and you will be successful. So there's certain things that you can do to make yourself successful, and I've learned that over the years. Use the best water if you can get it. If you can build a rain barrel system, and 99.9% of us can build a rain barrel system. It's simple as I don't know what. Then there's a cheap way of doing it, which is the way I did it. You look at some of my videos, you see the way I did it. I tied mine in with a unit that didn't cost $100. They try to excuse me, let me calm down. It bothers me when people do that. I was getting ready to buy a unit that hooked it in. It was $150 just to hook it, a plastic drum to a rain spout. Then it shows you how to cut up your rain spouts. I mean, all just cut them up. I didn't want to do all that to my house. Didn't want to do that to my house. All I wanted to do was hook a rain barrel to my gutter, and I did that. And it cost me $24 instead of 150 because I kept shopping around. You'll see it on my page when you go to some of my rain barrel systems. You'll see how I got hooked up. Number one, use the best water. Number two, the soil. The soil is absolutely key. Now, what does that mean? That means simply you make certain that your soil is loaded with the absolute best organic matter you can put in it. Now, another thing, don't forget, if you got a fish stall somewhere around you where you live, those fish heads and those fish guts, bury them deep, because animals will try to dig them up. You bury them deep, just in, soil over top, about like that, 2 inches, 3 inches. Put the plant on top, cover the plant over again. And when you do that, when that plant goes down and them roots tap into those guts and those heads in the ground, your plant gonna do that. It's gonna just rock it up. It's gonna rock it up. That's what it's gonna do. Now, what's going on when it taps into it? Well, the biology in the soil is already all over those fish heads. The biology in the soil. You don't have to add biology. I see people with videos up talking about you go and buy these kind of bacteria and these type of biology you could buy in a powdered bag, and if that's the biggest ripoff, uh, your biology is already in your soil. Soil is alive. You can improve the biology in your soil. You can add to the biology in your soil. You can definitely do that, but you don't need to go out and buy. It was a little bag the man had. He said, "I'm going to add this around the root of the plant." I'm looking at this man saying, "He poor fella, he don't know. He just don't know." And he's telling other people to do it because he don't. Um, you put the fish heads down in the hole, the biology from the soil will come in, start feeding on the fish heads. They will live, breed, eat, die right in that area. Then you will get water into that area, such as rain. That rainwater, once it comes into that area, will supply your plants with food. Because remember, plants eat liquid food. They don't eat anything that's solid. They eat liquid, and you want to make sure that you do that. Let's see who we got here on this drive here. Hello. Hello to you too. Hello, everyone. Everyone. I like when people come in the room and say hello to everybody. It's very, very polite. But you got that going, and you make absolutely certain that you deal with your plants on a scale of saying it's alive, it needs to eat. Some plants are what they call heavy feeders. That's a term we use a lot of. Anytime you're dealing with a plant that's a vigorous grower, that's a key to it. It's a heavy feeder. It's a heavy feeder. It's just that simple. Corn is a heavy feeder. Why? Because it grows fast. It burns a lot of energy. Tomatoes, heavy feeder. Watermelon, heavy feeder. Why? Because it grows fast. So, long story short, I treat all my plants as though they're heavy feeders. That's how I do it. All of them are heavy feeders. I don't, because it's hard keeping all that in your head trying to figure out, is this one a heavy feeder? Is that one not a heavy feeder? Is this one? All of them are heavy feeders. Just make sure they have what they need. They have food, and the food is in the soil itself. But what you're doing when you add organic matter to the soil, whether it be in the form of fish heads and fish guts, whether it be in the form of animal manures or animal urine and things like that, the biology in the soil is what actually the plant is actually eating. So that's what you want to do is increase biology in the soil, increase biology in the soil, increase biology in the soil, and it's free to do. You don't need to spend money to increase the biology in your soil at home. You don't need to do that. All you need to do is find resources, like I said, fish heads, fish guts. If you around somebody that has cows and you want to get their waste material, that guy, that lady that own that farm will give that stuff to you because they're getting it by the pounds every day. And so they don't need all of that. They don't want all of that. And if you're a respectful person and and you got a truck, you say, hey, I mean, if you don't mind, could I get some of that? And they'll say, yeah. Now if it's in the summer, you might pay for it. Summer, spring, you might pay for it. You might pay for it. But near the fall and stuff like that, they'll get that stuff. So you take it home, stack it up in a nice pile somewhere where you got your compost pile, and you leave it there till spring comes. Which you can do that, but me, I like to spread it right on the ground and let it seep in all year long. Because the bottom line is, when you put it down nature's way, when nature starts feeding its plants in what, fall and the winter. That's when nature. That's when nature puts its fertilizer down for the plants. When them leaves start falling off those trees, when the branches hit the ground and they lay there all fall and winter long, they're doing nothing but fertilizing the ground. This has been the Morning Garden. Thank you very much. I enjoyed all of you, really. All it's three of you now, but it was four. But I appreciate all of you, and I'm going to do this again very soon.